Because the number of college-educated black men is so low when compared to black college-educated women that we're all going to be targeting the same small pool of men.
And on top of that, if you want to be spoiled, you have to be drop dead gorgeous, and your hair has to fit the trajectory.
A lot of the people that y'all follow, the women that y'all worship, who are telling y'all that y'all don't need men, they are liars.
A lot of single women will say things like, the right man is going to love me for me, so I'm not changing for anybody. But they use that as an excuse to justify their undesirable traits.
I'm a Nigerian woman in her 30s and I'm still single. Not married, no kids, no when are you bringing someone home plan. Just me. And for a long time, I thought that meant something was missing.
Worked hard.
But today, I'm not waiting on anybody. I'm taking myself out because I deserve softness now, not when someone chooses me. So I picked these cozy spots just close to my house.
Top 5 rules for fat loss in 5 months. There's only one rule: eat less food.
Dressed up, did some makeup, and a little bit of mink.
This girl, you're 30 years old, well, in your 30s. The first thing, you're overweight. I'm not trying to bash you. I'm just being real. I'm giving some strict criticism or harsh criticism. I said it wrong. Harsh criticism. Listen, you shouldn't be at bakeries. You should be in the gym. I see a lot of ladies going to the gym, getting fit. What are you doing?
Character energy, of course. I don't need a +1 to enjoy my life. I used to feel behind, like I missed a memo everyone else got. But then I realized I'm not behind. I'm just on my own path. I'm building a life I actually like, not one that checks the boxes for other people. So yeah, I'm a Nigerian woman in her 30s and I'm still single. But I'm also free, at peace, and learning how to remind myself every day. This is your reminder. You are not behind. You are blooming in your own time. Remember that you're on your own time and live your life 30, 20, 40, whatever age. Bye, guys.
Yes, you're definitely on your own time, but you're single. And you did this for a TikTok. So I think everybody knows what I'm going to say. I don't believe you. You need more people. You look miserable in the whole video. I'm not trying to shame you. This is what I'm going to say. Just don't make this kind of TikTok. I guess you got to do it to get the money. I get it. They got to sell a dream. They got to sell it.
Hey, what's up, y'all? So look, any man that comes and tells you that's why you single, that's the biggest compliment that he could give you, especially in this day and age, because it's not beneficial to a woman who has solidified financial security and stability, meaning that you got your own house, you got your own place, your own car, you making money. It doesn't benefit you to be in a relationship with these men these days. And I mean, I hate that. It used to be a flex to have a man because men took pride in providing for their women. Regardless of all the extra headache that came along with them, because I'm going to just tell you this, men have never been faithful. They have always cheated. And for those women say not all men cheat, whatever man you feel like has not cheated, maybe your grandfather, your grandmother took those secrets about him to her grave if she's, deceased. Or she just ain't tell you. Because every man at some point in their life and relationship with a woman has stepped out on that woman. I'm not saying that they do it all the time. You know what I mean? But at some point, especially if you've been together for years, that man has stepped out. So for all the women that's delusional to think that no man cheats, that's because you just didn't find out. That's because maybe your grandmother, kept those secrets that she knew about your grandfather to herself, or your mother, or whoever. But back then, men took pride in caring for the home. Men took pride in paying bills, putting their women in cars for transportation because they had children. Now men use women for those things that they used to provide for women. Meaning that they got men that's moving in with women, driving their cars, tearing your. These men are no longer being of service to you.
I gotta pause really quickly because she's talking about service. Back in the day, women used to do everything in the home. Nowadays, it's all about making a buck. You hear them. We have the most homes, but also they have mortgages that increase from time to time. They don't know when it's going to increase because they have bad credit. They have many problems. A lot of them get a home, realize, man, I shouldn't have got a home. It's a bad decision. I remember I was reacting to those videos like 2 months ago. I did it for a reason. I did it to prove a point. They make it seem like it's so good, but it's not always cracked up to be.
Coming to you for you to service them. So, I mean, being single is a really big flex, especially when you got yourself together. Because you're not obligated. You don't have to deal with the responsibility. Only person that you have to care about is yourself. So any man that's trying to manipulate you and tell you, well, that's why you single, tell them thank you. Because that's a compliment.
They got to sell it. They have to convince other ladies this is okay. Get yourself a house, waste more money. Get yourself this, waste more money. Get that, waste more money. Man, I forget about that. Go to the gym, nah. I'd rather be by myself. I don't want a man anyway. Lying to themselves. When you do, you're yearning for a man. If a man, oh yeah, no, men are not doing that. Why is a man going to say, baby, please take me. I'm going to come pay your bills, pay your mortgage bills. You won't go to the gym, baby? That's fine. I like a little fat. They want you to accept them as they are. And that's no good.
Out loud is that as black men age, their desirability increases. Thus, their optionality of women is always expanding. And the exact opposite is true for black women. As we age, doesn't matter how much money we accumulate, our degrees or professional accolades. The reality is that our marriage and partnership market value is depreciating with every passing year. No matter how good we look, no matter how fit we are, men are still seeing primarily our presumed dwindling fertility as a knock against us. And speaking of fertility, that is another reason that I want younger black women to seek marriage and partnership in college or right after, if that's what they choose. Because the number of college-educated black men is so low when compared to black college-educated women that we're all going to be targeting the same small pool of men.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care.
And as we heard today, on most campuses, there's like 7 black women students for every 1 black man student. Y'all do the math. So here's my advice. If you are a young black woman in college and you know in your heart and in your head that you want to prioritize family, I suggest that you simultaneously pursue that MRS degree right along with that BA or JD. Because the handful of black college-age men that actually do desire to get married soon, and they do share that value system, and family is a priority for them too, y'all, that is an incredibly small pool, and it's shrinking as you get older. And by the time you reach my age, 40, you will be faced with different choices relating to life partnership and motherhood. Now, I'm not saying that delaying marriage or motherhood is a bad option, but it's one that comes with its own consequences. And our women deserve to know on the front end of their decision making instead of on the back half.
Yes, on the back half, you will be lonely. You will be like her, older, gotta have a baby without a man. She had no choice. You know, when it happened to her, it was kind of sad. Seriously, I felt a little way like, man, this woman, Ebony K, had to accept, got all the rewards, even on TV shows. No man. Tell them what their future is.
Welcome to the new world.
They need to know the truth. Good job.
the topic of interracial dating and whether a black woman would interracially date or not, I don't really take into account people who, one, are not dark-skinned black women, two, are not dark-skinned black women with 4C hair, three, are not dark-skinned black women with 4C hair who do enjoy wearing their 4C hair out in a fro unstraightened, and four, are not dark-skinned
I
black
don't
women
care.
who do enjoy wearing their 4C hair out and also require to be fully provided for. I do not take into account women who do not fill those guidelines of the four I listed. And the reason for that is because a lot of black women who wear the trope of I'm pro-black, I would never date anybody else besides a black man, yada yada, that are dark-skinned, I want to say 99% of the time, their hair is straight and they will never have their hair anything other than straight. And as a dark-skinned black woman who has dated black men, and as a dark-skinned black woman who ended up marrying someone outside of my race that are dark-skinned, I want to say 99% of the time, their hair is straight and they will never have their hair anything other than straight. And as a dark-skinned black woman who has dated everyone under the sun, most of my relationships have been with black men. And as a dark-skinned black woman who ended up marrying someone outside of my race, I know my experiences dating people who look like me. The little remarks they would make, like, I usually don't date dark-skinned girls, but you're so beautiful. Of course I date you, as if that's a compliment. Or, you're so beautiful, at least your hair is straight.
Yeah, until
What?
white
Or, you're so
daddy do
beautiful,
something.
do you have good hair? What's good hair? And keep in mind, the woman who told me that was the mother of a black boy I dated, and she was also dark-skinned. I could go on for days. I literally have so many story times. Like, I dated so many people, celebrities, people from, if you know, you know. But we're just going to keep it short with those few examples. Because when you're a dark-skinned black woman in the black community, you have to be drop-dead gorgeous. And on top of that, if you want to be spoiled, you have to be drop-dead gorgeous. And your
What
hair
you
has to
do?
fit the trajectory,
All
which is
right.
usually straight, bust down, whatever. Even this 4C braid situation, that would not have worked out with any of my exes.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Drop Dead Gorgeous was enough. If you look like some of those African models who look like Barbie dolls, I showed my wife, what is it, about a week, maybe 4 days ago, an African woman in Thailand who looked like Barbie and she was darker than you. Gorgeous. She could have hair like yours, but guys will go for her because she's gorgeous. Look, you're right too. You're just not quite there. A lot of guys will date you. I'm getting tired of bash black men because I'm feeling insecure. That's what you're doing. It's not right. They refuse correction. Men have said it over and over. You know how many men watching right now probably would have date you if they're not going to become password bros, but probably would have. I would have back in the day. I'm being real now. I would have dated you. So, what's your problem? You don't look half bad. But now, talking like you're talking, you're ugly. I don't want you. Seriously, that confidence, it does help. You know, so you see the black girls with confidence. It doesn't work for me because they're overweight. But if you had that confidence, it will work. But you don't.
Who were my race. So often on this app, I'll see, a video about, interracial dating, and in the comments of like, I would never be a race traitor. I would never. And then you click on the girl's page. Let's say she is dark skinned. The hair isn't that straight bust down. Have you tried going on a date without the bust down? Come back and let me know how that went for you. A lot of women fail to be honest with themselves about what's happening in our community. The first time I ever felt 100% comfortable with going on a date with my natural 4C hair was with my husband.
Yeah.
And somebody else I dated before that. I don't want to. He stalks me till this day, so I didn't want to give him the satisfaction of talking about him. But yeah, another person as well. And he was not black either. Also, I do not believe in 50-50. I have a few friends who are my complexion or darker, and they do wear their 4C hair out, and they do have black partners. and they are not being fully provided for. So if you take that all of that into account, I require a man to be super intelligent. I'm super intelligent. I go to Harvard. Like, you know, I expect a man to fully provide for me, 100%. Even though I have my own money, you still have to provide for me. That's just what it is. I expect a man to love me as I am, 100%. Even if my hair is in 4C Afro, which is actually going to be my look for my wedding. And I never would have felt comfortable doing that if I would have married anybody else besides my husband. So a lot of black women will like to make it seem like, oh yeah, you know, I'm pro-black because I'll never date outside my race, but they won't add the part in that they can't even go on a date with somebody in their race with their hair in an afro. Why don't you add that part in? What happened? I thought you were so pro. Oh, okay. My husband even prefers my hair in an afro, and I posted this on my Instagram story that my husband prefers my hair naturally. And one, or I think it was a few girls, replied to my story like, that's so crazy. One even sent me a video of Shara7. They sent me a video of her talking about how men do not like women with, you know, like nappy head or the braids or anything like that. And this is what I'm talking about. Shara7's husband is, you know, of her race. Well, I think she's mixed race. She's like half black, half something else. But of course, that's expected in our community because they want, even if you're dark skinned, they want you to be as close to some type of exotic as possible, which is where the you better not have your hair in naps comes into play. Like I said in the beginning of this video, when I'm valuing the opinion of women who claim they would never date outside of their race, I need you to be dark skinned because we already have it harder in our community. I need you to be dark skinned with 4C hair or type 4 hair. I think I have 4B. I don't know. I don't know the intense differences, but I posted my hair on my story a while ago and someone said it was 4B. So I guess 4B. Type 4 hair, whatever you want to call it. You need to take pride in wearing your 4C or type 4 hair, whether it's in an afro or you switch the look up. Like me, I'm going natural. I cut my hair off a while ago. So by my wedding, my hair is going to be in a huge fro and it's going to be so cute. So yeah. And 4, you also need to be fully provided for. And if you put all those requirements into play, your dating pool becomes very slim. I dated and married the man who fit everything on that list and treats me like a queen and loves me and loves every inch of me in my natural state. It is what it is. People like to make it seem so deep and, oh, you're not pro. Like, it's not as deep as you guys want it to be because some of y'all will claim you're pro-black and won't do this and that and the third and yet still won't leave the house without a straightener or a bust down. It is what it is.
No, I'm not pro-black. None of that. You're not confident at all. And you could have dated guys who were brainwashed as well. Back in the day, I personally didn't care if a girl wore her hair. Actually, I preferred it. I wanted to see you, how you look. Maybe you were dealing with young boys, but I don't want to go into that. Let me get into the next video.
Influencer is a liar. I've said this before. I'll say it again. A lot of the people that y'all follow, the women that y'all worship, who are telling y'all that y'all don't need men, how you can survive without men, you don't need nobody, you can be by yourself, they are liars. They're lying, okay? They're tricking you into fueling their lifestyles. The bags that they're carrying, you bought it. Yep. The new car, you bought it. Their new home, you bought it. You know why and how? Because they allow you to buy into their story and do a lot of trauma bonding. Trauma bonding has allowed so many women to fuel and fund other women's lifestyles. These women sit on these apps and tell you how you don't need a man and, you know, the whole bear versus man thing and you could do better by yourself. Your kids don't need daddies, all that stuff. And they are lying and they are out here desperate. Desperate for someone to love them, for someone to give them attention. But yet they're telling you you don't need anybody.
Real talk.
Because that's what they know. We as black women, we love to fall for that. Anybody who gonna tell us we don't need a man, yep, that's why I want to be around. But a woman like myself who says we need men. We need good men. You deserve a good man. Y'all don't like that. I'm a pick me. But I'm telling y'all, they're lying. I'm dropping a video on my YouTube channel today. Stay tuned. Go subscribe.
Yeah. We saw some of them this video, right? They say that like it's okay. It's because they gotta make money. They're making money pushing nonsense to you. They're doing it for the dollars. It's not okay. Like that woman first, especially the first woman. The second woman was a better actor. The first one was like, yeah, went to the bakery and got a cappuccino. They decorated the cappuccino nice, put a little flour in it. She looked depressed. I'm sitting there looking at her like, you're not happy. You look depressed and heavily overweight. You look at the waist just caked up because you're not releasing. You need to release. And also you need to release with a man. But hold on, let me get into the next one.
I think the greatest deception of this generation is the fact that y'all still think this is about black versus white, and it's not about light versus darkness. Y'all still think this is about race and not spirituality. It has always been about light versus darkness, holiness versus wickedness, people who are walking in good versus those walking in evil. There is a great line, and God is really drawing a line saying, choose this day who you will serve. Are you going to be on the side where you serving God, or are you going to be on the side where you serving the devil? There's this story about this fence. There's a guy who's at the middle of this fence, and on one side of the fence there is the enemy, on the other side of the fence there is God. And the enemy is telling him, hey, if you come over to my side, I can promise you wealth, I can promise you fame, I can promise you everything that you ever desired. And then God is saying, no, if you come to this side, I could offer you eternity, I could offer you peace, joy, wisdom, I can offer you so much more. But the guy is like, honestly, I like what both of y'all are offering. How about I don't choose either and I just sit right here on the middle of the gate? I could dabble in over here when I get ready, dabble over there when I get ready. And then eventually the time runs out and his light is snuffed out. He runs out of time. And he opens his eyes and he realizes he's surrounded in the presence of the enemy by spiritual darkness. And he goes, no, wait. I didn't choose this. I said, I didn't choose either of you. I didn't choose you. Why am I on this side? And the devil goes, I created the fence. So I'm saying all this to say, choose this day who you're going to serve, because you cannot afford to be indecisive. This is not the season of indecision. This is the season where you choose this day who you are going to serve, because this is not about race anymore. That was a principality that happened in a different time. Now we're in a different season where the principality is about spirituality. It's about good versus evil. And you know, everything is out in the open, both wickedness and goodness, wide out in the open. There's a revival, okay? A revival taking place of God's people. But there's also an exposure of wickedness like we have never seen it before. It's right in our faces. It's so blatant. It's so audacious that you gotta know that there's a great divide in the earth today. And if you are on the wrong side, you are going to be mad. So to my brothers and sisters in Christ, if you are hearing this, choose this day who you gonna serve. You cannot afford to be indecisive, to be dibbling and dabbling in every little bit of everything. No. God is saying, do away with your idols, do away with your sin, and choose this day who you gonna serve, because you cannot afford to sit on the fence.
This is probably not gonna go far, but let's see. I just saw a video of the little Cam Newton podcast or whatever, and he had that guy, the one that panders to women, that ace metaphor or whatever, and he said something that just, I mean, it's obvious, right? He said heterosexual men don't like women. They like women sexually and like them for their organs, but outside of that, they don't like what a woman embodies or represents. And I totally agree. But do you know why though? Do you know why? All right, let's do it. You got to understand that when little boys are growing up, they're really not directed. They're not taught how to navigate life. The only thing that a little boy is taught to do is not be a girl. You throw like a girl, that's girly. You run like a girl. Like every insult that's thrown at little boys has to do with not being a girl, not being feminine. So they are conditioned to believe that feminine is bad, girl bad, woman bad. Okay? No explanation why. You run like a girl, you throw like a girl. Oh my God, ha ha ha, you're such a girl. Why? They have no explanation. There's no reason. It's just girl bad, boy good. And what happens? They grow up with this conditioning and essentially grow up into these heterosexual men that hate women. It's the same way when we talk about racism. Have you ever talked to a racist and asked them, why don't you like black people? They'd never know how to answer that. It's just because they've never really been taught anything. It's just don't like black, don't like black. And so they grow up with this inculcated conditioning of don't like black. They don't know why. They don't know the reason. And this is just to say, fellas, at the core of all of your problems is you.
Take a look at the comment section. Where it says, and men and women are so different. See the world with different perspectives. That's fine because the feeling is mutual. And also before that, it said, this one here, I don't know why the comments are cut short. It says, yeah, I know girls getting with homosexual men, and something lavender me. I wish we could see it. And right here it says, lavender me, please. Actually, let me share my screen. I'm going to share my screen and show it because I don't know what's going on here. Because gay men like women for who they are. A lavender marriage because they're like women for who they are? Of course they do. They want to be woman. And then the girl says, Samases, lavender me, please. Lavender me, please. You see how these women think? They're so accepting and wonder why son husbands are turning out to be homos. Because a woman like this, they're raising these guys. And the next one says, that's fine because feeling is mutual. I read it already. And men and women are so different. See the world with different perspectives. Yes, that's true. We do. And these guys are not going to go in on this because they're watching. They're fans, maybe. Maybe they like this girl. Or maybe they're simps, right? Oh, everything you see is okay. Oh, because if you go along to get along, you don't hate women. When you reject this and go at this, you hate them. I think that's why I can do a lavender. You gotta be kidding me. But things like this going on, Sodom and Gomorrah is fine. It's welcomed. We're close there.
Black women, we have been fooled into thinking that our hair is some alien-like creature that needs a million things to keep it sustained and alive. The natural hair movement has done so many things for us as a community, but it has also done a lot of bad things as well. Because of the natural hair movement that happened a few years back, that opened up a whole new market and it championed over consumerism and just trying to sell Black women who didn't know anything about their natural hair, anything and everything. That created this long 20-step routine that took 8 hours to complete on wash day and made some Black women literally hate their hair because of all of the upkeep and maintenance that natural hair needs. Corporations and influencers alike took advantage of the fact that we didn't know what we were doing with our hair. Now fast forward a few years later, we are getting statements just like these. Now this woman does not deserve any hate. She is valid with her feelings. But we also do have to recognize, why does she feel that way? And that's because we were sold a lie. Your hair does not need a 1,000-step routine to grow. Hair is hair, whether it is straight hair or curly hair. The difference between straight hair and curly hair is that natural curly hair is drier because sebum does not reach the ends of our hair as easily as straight hair does. So we do have to add our own moisture using hair products. But this narrative that natural hair is like a newborn baby that needs the utmost care because our hair needs more moisture is not true, and it is harmful. It is literally just capitalism working against us. This video is getting way too long, but let me know if you want to hear more.
Look, one thing I do know, as a Black man or a Black woman, your hair is really meant not to be touched. In Africa, they maybe put berries in their hair, and that was it. When you're being sold all those things, it shows where your common sense is at, right? Because even I know that. I'm not a woman, and I know they use berries and things. And so, look at what the Africans are doing. Look at the things that are in Africa. That's going to be the best hair products for any woman. So if you see an African woman, maybe ask. Or you see a woman with natural hair, ask her. Plain and simple. It's not as hard as it seems.
All right, y'all, let's get into it. Here are the 3 biggest lies that single women tell themselves. Let's go. Number one, the right man will accept me as I am. A lot of single women will say things like, the right man is gonna love me for me, so I'm not changing for anybody. But they use that as an excuse to justify their undesirable traits.
Finally, somebody gets
Mature, healed women do not operate this way because they're not intimidated by accountability and their own self-growth if it means finding the right partner. They understand that if they want to meet a good man, that could mean doing some work on themselves. I can promise you the right man is not going to take you as you are. If as you are means you're bitter, entitled, and you lack emotional maturity. Number two, you won't have to work for the right man. Ladies, please understand if you want a good man, there is absolutely work that is involved. Thinking a good man is going to walk into your life and start moving mountains for you without you doing anything in return is one of the biggest lies that single women tell themselves. Now let me be clear. Work doesn't necessarily mean you're cooking and cleaning and shining his shoes every day, but he is going to want some effort from you too. He's going to want your femininity, your softness, and to know that he's appreciated. Real men love spoiling their women. They love being that fixer and that go-to person in your life, but that consistency and effort has to work both ways. And number three, last but not least, all of the lies we tell ourselves about what we really want and deserve. There are a lot of women out there who think they deserve less than they actually do. These women lie to themselves all of the time, and they try to convince themselves that the half-ass effort they're getting from a man is enough. On the opposite end, you have women who think they deserve way too much, and they have unrealistic expectations of what they should be looking for in a man. These women also care more about the aesthetic of a relationship versus the actual relationship itself. Just remember, ladies, some of the biggest lies we tell in life are the lies we tell ourselves. The sooner you're honest with yourself, the sooner your circumstances can change.
Yeah, well, it's not just telling themselves. You got so many selling it. All these videos that I just showed today and everyone else showed on every channel out there, every manosphere piece of content out there is a woman selling nonsense. And what do they have? As I showed you, you go down in the comments and you see comment after comment of nonsense. It makes you look at the date market and go, we're screwed. This is why passport bros are such a big thing, right? It was destined to be. Like, what were men going to do? Accept, and accept? All of the guys that are plain Joes, right? Who's there for them? Kevin Samuels hit on it heavy. He broke it down, and it's true. A man that makes 50,000 should be with a woman that makes maybe 40,000, and together they come together and make 90. Or they work on things together and probably have a business and make even more. Man, like I look at what I'm doing with my wife. You know, you make this and then you add this in and you make that and then you build together. Men can't build with anyone because they all want to be taken care of. You got ladies like her, also a couple of other ladies in the video that deserve to be taken care of because they understand. They listen. They use their logical mind. They know they need to work with a man. But so many have gotten far away from that nowadays. And guys are tired of begging. They are. Why beg somebody who doesn't care? They have no emotions. Not a care in the world. And they say that too. Women sometimes can be the most heartless. You'll find men will have more compassion and women will be so heartless. I don't even think they mean it too. They just mean for nothing because they're told lies. And also they lie to themselves, like you said.
So I'm single by choice. Here's actual footage of me looking fine. Okay. Now, yes, would definitely like to be in a relationship with a man, but here's why I am not in a relationship.
Drop some pounds first.
It's because I want to be in a right relationship more than I want to be in a relationship. This means I'm not going to just accept anything in my life. I know these days we're all about, forget men, forget women. I don't believe that. I believe there's a man out there for you, and I believe there's a woman out there for you that's going to treat you the way you deserve. But guess what? People only treat you the way you allow them to treat you. And I'm not going to settle because I know my worth.
Not interested.
Not only am I beautiful, smart, I got a business, I'm a great mom, I'm a great woman, and I know what I have to offer a man. But most importantly, I know what I have to offer myself. So therefore, I'm going to be single and continue looking like this until God sends me that man that's going to love me. correctly.
Yeah, I'm gonna continue looking like this. I'm looking at you right now, not your picture, and I see caked up face. You got a cake face. Saying I deserve to be treated like this. You deserve to be treated like you're overweight. Jump on a treadmill. Do some burpees. Do something. I know women don't do burpees, but seriously, join a fitness class. Do some Zumba. Something. Do something. Especially while you're single. I want to see. I want to see more enjoying single like that. I believe some of those ladies. Like some of those ladies that were in the gym going hard and like, damn, I'm just focused on myself. I'll be like, okay, I believe you a little bit, right? I will be a believer. Say if I see a woman like the woman in the first video, instead I see her drinking this cappuccino, getting fat, about to eat a cookie. Like, come on now. And you, I just got finished eating all the cookies. I choose to be single. Refuse correction. And wonder why. That's why you're single. You're not making that choice. That choice is being made for you. Yes, you got men coming to you, and you probably turning them down, but they want to smash. Understand that. You have men that want to smash and dash and maybe get a little piece of cash or a little piece of the hair. But yeah, y'all, thank y'all for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Peace out. See you next video.